Good afternoon, everyone. Please meet our coach, Rajat. Rajat Vasishta, founder resume.in and getsetresumes.com. Since 2011, Rajat has founded multiple businesses centered on resume writing. He has pioneered apps, new services, and various presentation models to deliver high impact narratives that help job seekers, including citations for civilian awards by the Government of India. Rajat's businesses have been recognized by top tier media houses, including Economic Times, Times of India, Dainik Jagran, Bhaskar Live, and Your Story. Today, Rajat is building a new analytical tools that can push job seekers into right direction through AI-based pathfinding. Welcome, Rajat.
Hi, thanks, Alekia. Should we wait for everybody?
We'll wait for 2 more minutes, Rajat.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Rajat.
So I'll just start with the introduction and why you guys should be listening to me. So I basically have been in the resume business since 2010, guys. So we started Get Set Resumes back then, and we were perhaps the only business outside of Naukri and Times Jobs which was doing this. So we started as a pure writing business, not as a job portal. So over the last 15 odd years, we've worked with about 50,000 professionals, and today we are writing documents for clients from over 40 countries. And these don't just include resumes, but a host of other career documents, so LinkedIn profiles, bios, award citations, like national level, international award citations. Then, we also write immigration documents, recommendation letters, presentations for what you say, promotions and all that. So a lot of stuff that, we've started to do. Uh, so I know a little bit about resumes. Okay, so you guys can trust, my knowledge there. Last few years, what I've started to do is I've started to build a technology platform by the name of Resumod. So what Resumod does is, Resumod is a software which basically helps you build a resume faster, and we're trying to completely build it into a career suite where you can actually find matching jobs. You can find your resume score against a job, and a lot of other stuff. You can find interview questions. You can even find recommendations related to what you should be doing next. So yeah, I mean, I'll be introducing Resumod also to you guys. So this workshop, we are going to focus on not just the resume writing part, but also how to find a job. Okay, so resume is just a means to finding a job, and I did not want to limit the workshop to resumes, because at the end of the day, everybody finds a way to update their resume, right? So I'll be talking about a lot of other things. I'll also be discussing about what is happening around the world, how you can take cues from what others are doing, what companies are doing, what kind of a time this is, in terms of getting a job. So all that. And during this presentation, if you guys feel that you want to interrupt, then please feel free. But if you are interrupting, please interrupt on that particular slide or the topic that I'm talking about. Okay, don't ask an unrelated question, it just breaks the flow. Okay, and please do not and in case you feel that my speed is fast, you want me to slow down, please let me know. All right, and if you have a specific question related to your career, just give it some time. I'll be taking a break in between, and I'll be taking a break at the end. So these two times I'll be taking questions from you. Okay, so we'll get started then. So this is the quote that I generally begin the workshop with. Quote is, "I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions." So why is this quote important? So this is keeping the audience here in mind. So what happens with a career break is that a lot of doubts creep in, and as a mom, or as a homemaker, we tend to question ourselves a lot. We tend to feel that, we've probably taken a back seat. Our career has taken a back seat and our peers are, way ahead of us. And where would I have been if I had not taken this break? So all that puts in a lot of guilt, a lot of pressure on us, right? And then, add to that the pressure of getting back. So we, sort of get into that guilty mode that no, we, like this was not our choice. This is the first rhetoric that everybody says that I didn't plan it. This just happened, and this has ruined my career, and now I can't get back, and all that stuff. Otherwise, I was doing so well. What that does is, it tries to make you a victim of something that was not in your control. And forget about the personal aspects of it. It On a professional front, it tells the employer that this person is not in control of their life. This person did not plan this break. This person will take another break because somebody else will plan it for her, right? So that with that perception, an employer cannot proceed. That with that perception, an employer cannot really hire you. So what I want you to do today is start owning up your career break. Okay, you start thinking that this career break was my decision. I took a call. This career break has changed me. It has made me a better person. And coming back to a job, getting back into the workforce is also my own decision. Nobody else controls my life. I am taking my calls, and this career break, if anything, it has made me a better person. So now I'm ready to tackle the challenges of the professional life in a better way. So this is something that this quote inherently means, and this is why I include this. So from today onwards, please start thinking about it in this way, that this career break was your conscious decision. It has made you a better person. And definitely anybody who hires you now will get somebody who's probably 10 times or maybe 5 times better than who you were before this break. Okay. So don't let anybody feel that you're not in control of your life. So what are we going to learn today? So this is the broad agenda. So a little bit of introduction, some graphics and all. Then we'll move on to how to write the resume. So this is where I'm going to show you 5 resume examples. All the 5 examples are coming from JFA Jobs for Her, and all the 5 examples have career breaks mentioned differently. All 5 are different cases. So I'm going to show you all the 5. They will most likely answer all your doubts as far as resumes are concerned. Okay. Then we'll touch upon cover letters and LinkedIn's also. In between, I'm also going to show you what ResumeMod is, how ResumeMod can help you, and how you can make a resume also. So why is this session important? So like I said, no, this okay. So there is a misconception that your resume basically gets you selected. Okay, so this doesn't happen. So generally how resumes work and how job application process works is, it's based on a series of rejections. So nobody knows who the right candidate is. So the first step an employer does is they post a job. Okay. And on the basis of that job, let's say 100, 500,000 people apply. Now the next step is to shortlist them, or maybe, call them for interviews. Now I cannot call 1,000 people for interviews. So what do? I reject 900 people. Okay, and for rejection I can use the silliest of criterias. The resume is not looking good, the resume's page length is too much, there is a spelling mistake in the header of the resume, the person did not name their file properly. Okay, so all these count, they come under attention to detail, and for any silly reason as an employer I just reject the resume. The next round again I reject the candidates who did not do really well, but I still do not have an idea of who the best person is. Okay. In the next round, I reject further, you know. So basically, I keep rejecting till the time I land a couple of people, or 4 or 5 people who I'm ready to select. All right. So your resume is actually a tool to get you rejected. And 95% resumes are going to get rejected. So 95% of the times you also will get rejected. So point being that your resume has to have those aspects which take you to the interview table, because till that time it's just a paper with certain keywords in it. And the most disheartening aspect is that there is no human who's going to reject it. Today these rejections happen through an ATS, an applicant tracking system, which is essentially a software which is reading the resume. So if it doesn't find something relevant in the resume, it will reject it, right? So your ATS is not going to read the resume. So essentially, your resume needs to match every job to the extent that it can take you to the interview table where at least you face a human and you present yourself so that at least they can get to judge you, right? Whether you know something or not. From the resume, you cannot even get judged. So this is what we are going to discuss today, that how can you make sure that you do not get rejected by a system, by a machine. The third part why your resume is important is because in the interview stages, again, at the end of the day, people are going to pick up your resume and they're going to ask you, tell me about yourself, tell me about this resume, what did you do in this project, right? All those questions. So your resume is a very important tool till you find a job. After that, probably for the next 4 5 years, it can rest, right? But at least till that time, it is the most important document. Okay, so you need to pay a little bit of attention. Now, what is career breaks? So career breaks before 2020, before COVID, career breaks were a taboo, at least in India. And we saw a lot of cases. So we've been working with JFH since 2017, and we've seen cases where people just couldn't find a job. Employers would just reject a resume. Okay, career break rejected. There's a gap rejected. Okay, this thing has changed after COVID because career breaks are now common. A lot of people take career breaks, not just females, males also take career breaks. People take career breaks for every reason that is fathomable. Mental health, traveling, just taking care of somebody or just relaxing. I just didn't feel like working. And as we move on in the new age, the new generation, they are going to take even more career breaks. We just don't feel like going to office. That is the answer. So what exactly do employers check? Why do you still not get a job call as frequently as others? So the reason is that no, a lot of people who have taken a career break, do not they are not somehow able to convincingly answer what they were doing in the break. Okay, for an employer, the only thing that matters is, are you up for the job or not? Okay, so as a person, if I'm looking at your profile, at your resume, I need to know as a person, can you do this job for me? If yes, I'm going to call you. If not, I won't call you. So your job is to show in that resume that you became a better person because of this career break. Okay, so better person professionally or better person personally, it doesn't matter. Even if the career break made you a better mom, you are more mature now, you are more patient now, you can handle things better now. Great, show it to the world that you are now a much better individual in terms of your personality, and in terms of your professional skills you already are a great professional because you have 5 years of credentials, right? So if you can club those and together, you can show that you are a person who should be hired, employers will hire you. Most people cannot do that. That is why they still face issues in finding jobs. Okay. I don't know how interactive this audience is, but anybody here who really can answer this question, that why do employers even consider females on a career break? Like, why not just hire the freshers who are more energetic, or the young professionals who can actually put in double the hours without the baggage of a family? Why should I even consider a person on a career break? Anybody, if you want to answer that.
Uh, Hello, sir.
Yeah,
My name is Aisha,
yeah,
and
Aish.
I think they can consider career break women because they are more matured.
Oh, I want the
Okay,
work
that is
done.
one of the
I,
more
I,
matured in the
I
yeah,
just want the work done. Now, what will
yeah.
I do of the
No,
maturity?
in decision making, actually, the new generation is quite fast. It's good, but their decisions can be immature as compared to those people who are
Mhm.
more mature.
Okay,
So it will help in decision making.
okay.
And yes, if the career break, if the person has done more studies, higher studies and certifications, that is also one of the added advantage compared to the what to say, the person who is new. Okay,
Okay,
the
all right.
freshers.
Okay,
Okay, yeah,
okay,
those are yes.
okay. Somebody has said empowering women. See, as a employer, I need to think about my profits. I mean, whatever I put on paper and in the media is one thing, but at the end of the day, I need to get my job done. And if a woman can do it better, then I'll hire her. Otherwise, I won't hire her.
So we can say that I have required skills for the role, and hence you should hire me.
But anybody without a break also will. I mean, I can find a lot of people with similar skills and experience without a break also, na? Okay, so guys, see, what happens at the employer side is why are we getting inclined towards women on a career break? Is one thing obviously is the maturity part, because uh, I know that you are now a little more stable in your head, and you can take decisions better. But more than that, what matters to me is the loyalty. Okay, I know that you want a foot in the door right now. You want an opportunity, and if I give you that opportunity, you're not going to squander it. Okay, so that part works. Second part, I know that you're not going to job hop very fast. I know once you get in, you are going to stay. Okay, because you wanted this opportunity. So once you get that, you are not going to immediately, start looking out again. The third part, the third reason is the salary, because your primary agenda, your primary focus is getting the job. It is not getting a high paying. So what I'll do is, for the same skill set, if I go for a person outside, I'll probably be paying premium. With you, I'll bargain very hard. And I know that you will agree. Okay. So for this reason, employers are getting inclined towards women on a career break. And it's not a bad deal, quite frankly. If you take that deal, I know that within the 1 year, people who've been on a career break, once they get inside an organization and they start contributing, appraisals are just a matter of time. Okay, so this is the reason, and this is why you need to show that you are up for the job. Okay, maturity, I know you have. Loyalty, I know you will give me. Salary part, I know I will negotiate very hard. But what I don't know is, do you really have the skill for the job also? So if I can get that from the resume, I know that this is what I need. I need this person. Okay, now quick facts. Nandan, on the contrary, women on a career break, they are very low in confidence also. Okay, so they take a lot of time to really come to terms in a corporate setting, and this coming from a practical scenario. But nonetheless, we are going to keep discussing this. So, quick facts. I'm not going to go through all the numbers, just the 6 point. Almost 48% in India drop out of the workforce before they reach middle of their careers. Now, Asian average is 29%. India is the second largest, second biggest, and second fastest growing economy in. Sorry, India is the second fastest growing economy in Asia. Still, the number of women who drop out is huge. Okay, but look at it as an opportunity. 48% seats are getting vacant every year. Okay, so in a way, 48% seats are up for grabs. Okay, so you have options, you have seats that are getting vacant, which can be filled by your skill set. So there is a lot of opportunity available in India, right? Now, there is a company called McKinsey. I'm sure some of you must be aware of that, if not all. McKinsey is one of the world's biggest consulting companies. McKinsey comes up with a report called Women in the Workplace every year. And this report talks about what is happening with women in the workplace, how are companies dealing with women, what are women doing in their careers, okay, and all that stuff, right? Learning opportunities, job opportunities, and they mostly focus on the US market, but they generally focus on other countries also. So this chart is coming from Women in the Workplace 2022, where there is a representation of males versus female population in the corporate pipeline. Okay, and as you can see at the beginning, the male and female population is almost similar, 52% versus 48%. While as you move up the hierarchy, the percentage changes to 74% in favor of females, or sorry, in favor of males, and 26% in favor of females, right? Now this looks abysmal, but just below this graph, there is a graph for 2016, where the percentage of females at the top at the C-suite level stood at 16%. So in 6 years, what the US corporate sector has done is they've pushed more women at the top, and they've increased this percentage by 10% in 6 years. That's a huge jump. Okay. What that tells you is that in US, big corporates, which are influencing the policy changes, are encouraging women to come at the top of the pie, come at the top of the pyramid and start taking decisions. All right. Same report from 2021, Women in the Workplace by McKinsey. This compares female versus male managers on a variety of parameters. Overall well-being of employees, management of workload, uh, managing employee burnout. A lot of parameters were there, and in most of those parameters, female managers came at the top. Okay, the blue bar represents female managers. Now, what happens when these reports reach, the who's who of companies, CHROs? They make policy changes about what is to be done, what should we do. Okay, so this is the effect. The effect is, there are jobs now specially advertised for females on a career break. Okay, this was unheard of in 2019, 2020. This has started to happen only in 2021, later part, probably 22. And this image screenshot is from 2022. So even today, you will find jobs only for women on a career break, where they are inviting females to come in and join their workforce. LinkedIn introduced a special section for career break, where you can add your career break in 2022. Okay, and then if you have a job, if a company has a job listing, then they can actually invite women who have a career break, and you would get notified. Right, then there are companies running restart programs. So S&P runs the restart program. Accenture runs a career reboot program. Okay, there are other companies also. And even in India, companies have started. So a lot of things have changed in the last few years, and companies are open to getting females back into mainstream, grooming them, and then giving them, job that they can continue. So, a lot of opportunities. So through these slides, I just wanted to show you that times have changed and a lot of positives have come up, and companies have started to encourage females to get back. Okay, it's not as rosy as you just apply and you will get selected. No, again, underlying everything is one basic fact: you need to have the skill to do the job. Okay, so that has to be shown. If you can show that, companies are willing to hire. Okay, now how do you actually get back into the workforce? So there is a 7-step process that we have, devised over the years, and this is almost guaranteed to get you a result. Okay, for some of us, maybe a small fraction, you might get hired in 15 days, but most of us, some of us would probably take the worst time, which is 6 months, but most of us would probably get hired in between. Okay, this guaranteed. Now, I don't want you to start assuming that no, we'll just follow it and we'll uh, get hired. I am telling you that you will get hired. You need to be very clear about what you want to do. Okay, without a plan, you cannot do it. But before you step into this process, there is a step zero to it. Okay, and the step zero is actually an introspective question, which is, do I really want a job or am I just bored? Why is this question coming up? So this is again coming from a very practical, uh, observation that we've seen, and this is not just like a third party observation. We have hired people who've been on a career break. Like, I've personally hired more than I think 3 or 4 people in the last 5 years, who've been on a break, and I've seen what happens, how things unfold, and obviously through other interactions we've seen how things happen. A lot of times, women who've been on a break, they just get frustrated, and it is understandable because raising kids is daunting. Okay, staying in one place throughout the day, week after week, not moving out and just with the kids, it can get the better of anyone, right? Now, in that frustration, sometimes, and females, like I said, you've lost your career and suddenly, you just get so frustrated, especially after childbirth, that you want to get out. And a lot of females know what they do is they just update their resume and start applying randomly. And they do get a call. Call kya, they get hired. Okay. Now what happens is that no everybody, like the person who gets hired is obviously happy that finally I have a job, now I'm going to go out. The problem is that they forget two things. One, the family is not ready because the kids have never seen you work. Okay, the husband, the family has sort of, they don't know how it is going to be when you go out for work. And the female has forgotten one fact, that the employer is going to ask them to work. Okay, fine, you have your independence now, you're going to go out, you're going to get money. But what about the work? Now, what about the 7 a.m. meeting or the 11 p.m. deadline? How are you going to attend your child's parent teacher meeting? Okay, so people forget these basic small things, which seem very trivial, and they start surfacing, once you start your job. And then you realize that, okay, I don't have a support system in place, and then the fights start, and then you suddenly everything crashes down and you leave the job once again. And this is again, like I said, I have seen this happen a lot of times. And so the suggestion here is, if you are on step 0 and you do not know right now, whether you should go ahead, then you need to take a break, a 3-month break, where you just plan everything out so that things are sorted at the house front before you take a considerable step towards finding a job. Okay, because you do not want to be in a position where you start a job and then suddenly issues come up. That cannot, that will not work. Okay, so presumably everybody here is on step 1, which is great. So let's start with that. And the step 1 here is not making a resume. Okay, resume is not the first job here, and you guys should not focus on making a resume. The first job is finding what kind of jobs are available. Okay, so what we do is we make an Excel sheet. I'll just show you. So we need to make an Excel sheet, something like this. Okay, it's a very basic Excel. What I've tried to do here is I've tried to find out jobs based on the kind of skill set that I have. And I further bifurcated my skill set into my core skill set and secondary skill set. Now, what is my core skill set? Core skill set is the job that I was doing earlier before I took a break. So let's say I was a software tester. So my core skill set is software testing. Or let's say I was in sales. So my core skill set is sales. Okay. What is my secondary skill set? Anything that I've learned now, anything that I want to venture into now, which is different from my earlier skill, or any hobby that I've picked up, okay, or any part-time stuff, any upskilling certification that I've done. That becomes my secondary or tertiary skill set. Okay. So let's say I've started teaching and I want to find jobs both as a software tester and as a teacher. So I start finding all the jobs that are available as a software tester. So I start putting the links here, maybe the description. Then I pick out the most important keywords in all those job descriptions. Okay. I also write all the qualifications. What are these people looking for? Are they looking for a simple BTech degree or has a new certification come in? So I just add all that here. Okay. I do the same thing for my secondary skill set also. Similar thing. Okay. Then if I have a third skill set, I do that for third skill set also. Now here I take a moment, and without going to the next step, that we get a resume ready, I first need to understand, do I have all the qualifications or not? Because even if I get my resume ready, I'm going to get rejected. Okay, so let's say the qualification that I have is A, because A was presumably the qualification that was required back in 2018 or 2017 when I took a break. But now new certifications have come up. Some companies are demanding a certification called D. Some certifications are demanding a certification called C. So I know that in another few months' time, more and more companies are going to demand this. So instead of going for a resume right now, why not I go for an upskilling program? So the best thing to do right now would be to start an upskilling in one of those qualification areas that companies are really looking for, instead of making a resume. Okay, this maybe this will push you back by 3 months, but it is okay. At least you would be much better prepared for a job, and there would be no point of rejection. Thirdly, you would know that once you're inside, you would have an edge over others, existing employees who do not have this certification, and you always have a chance of getting an appraisal faster. Okay. Now the third step is getting your resume ready. Now we make multiple versions of the resumes. One version for this. Okay, this has all the keywords which are mentioned here. Second version for this. All the keywords which are mentioned here. Third version for the third tertiary skill set. All the keywords which are mentioned here. So that ways you have 2, 3, maybe 5 versions of your resume ready, maybe one version. Okay, but that version is clearly demarcated, clearly it has all the skill sets that are required for the jobs that are available in the market right now. The next step is to write a small cover note. Cover note is an introduction letter, which I'll talk about later. Then we start broadcasting your resume. Okay. The broadcasting part obviously then goes on. You broadcast, you connect with recruiters, you talk to people on LinkedIn, and you keep shooting your resume to as and when job over postings come. And then obviously, if you land an interview opportunity, then you keep refining your skill set, you keep refining your resume, and this cycle goes on. So this is basically the process. Here, if anybody wants to discuss something related to their own uh, what do you say story or a particular specific problem, you can ask me a question here. Rest of the people need to be a little more attentive and hear the answer as well, because most of the times the questions are very similar in nature. So by answering one person's question, I might be answering everybody else's as well. So yeah, please, if anyone wants to ask anything, please feel free.
Hi, Rajat. This is Nupur.
Hi.
Rajat, I was on a break since last 5 years. During the break, I joined a firm like QMath and I started working from home. I'm taking classes. It's a maths-based class wherein I am teaching students in India and abroad. So I would like to mention this as a positive thing in my resume. Like I was working from home only, and I
No,
have
first you introduce yourself in the sense that tell me what was your core skill set, what were you doing before you took a break, and how much
Okay,
break?
okay. Okay, okay. Sorry. Okay. So I am a software engineer. I have done my master's of computer application. I was in IT firm in India and abroad for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then like after my second child, I have to take a career break, which was obviously planned.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am looking to resume. I actually got
As
in last
you
year,
want
but
to
due to
resume, okay, you got in into a software job.
yeah, but due to the market condition, they closed all these women comeback program and all that. So unfortunately, I was part of
Which
that.
company was it?
Morgan Stanley, Morgan Stanley,
Okay,
Mumbai. Yeah, I got in their
okay.
internship program. I was there in 3 months, and but since they have to, like you must be aware, they have already 3,000 their own employees, and then they have
Mm-hmm.
closed all the running programs.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I was part of it. So how this I can, not giving any negative impact because I was doing my thing, right? That was a market risk where I was.
No, that's okay. That's absolutely fine. I think you can very well mention there in your resume that you were selected by Morgan Stanley
Mhm.
and that the position closed after you joined. So that's absolutely fine. But this teaching thing, you have to show it as an extracurricular activity or something, which is an extra, like not related to your software job.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
see, if you highlight this as a big thing in your resume, then you're not going to get selected, because this would show up as something that you're interested in, and you might just leave the present job for this. So right, so you can just show that
Mhm.
during your break you were doing some teaching assignments,
Okay.
and this can come in as a separate section in the resume, not in the mainstream, not in the main part of the resume.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall I highlight that or shall I not write
I
it?
don't think this is not something where you want a job, right?
Yeah.
So then no point in highlighting it. You just want to show it off at this point. You just want to show that okay, I did this and I'm happy about it. I don't want to hide it, right?
Okay.
That's
Okay.
all.
Hmm.
Yeah. So don't highlight it. Don't give it too much importance.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, unless you're making a second resume for teaching, which is where this would become the primary part.
No, 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 I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Rajat.
Okay. So guys, if no questions, I'll move on.
Hello,
Yeah.
excuse
Hi.
me. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Same.
Hi.
This is Aisha Khanam.
Hmm.
Actually, I have the opposite situation. I was doing teaching. I have done my MSc Maths. Okay, and I have done my
Okay.
B.Ed also. and I was doing teaching for 3 years. But from the beginning, actually, I'm an good at art, and I've won many competitions also. Okay, so I wanted designing, but before there was only animation, so I couldn't do. Now, since there is UX designing and all that, so I want to go into UX designing. So I started doing Figma. Okay, I started learning the tool. No, now I want a job in this field. So how should I proceed?
No. Do you have a formal certification in Figma?
Yeah, actually from Udemy I'm doing. I haven't completed, but the process is going on. Half I have completed.
Okay. See, complete the certification because that will
Okay.
really be needed for. See, when you
Yes.
write something in the resume, uh,
Yes.
people need to know if it is true or not. Okay, so if you
Okay.
want to
Yeah.
get into this designing and all, and you are Figma
Yes.
certified by whatever
Yes.
third-party authority, then
Yes.
you can mention it in the resume, and you also need to show a build of a portfolio.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, after that you can start applying. I think you'll find options.
So my MSc will help it, right? Mathematics
MSc
I have
is in
done.
mathematics. No, how will that
Yes.
help? I don't think so. I mean,
Is it?
you
Okay.
can argue that mathematics is in every field, and at the end of
Everything.
the day, maths helps. Yeah, but I mean,
Yes.
yeah, as a designer, even if I
Yeah.
am bad at math, I can be very
Yes.
good at design, quite frankly. So,
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes.
right?
Yes, sir. Agree. Okay. Okay, sir. I'll do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello,
Anybody?
Rajat. This is
Yeah.
Swati.
Hi, Swati.
Hey, I have 18 years of experience in as an automation lead. So I've done
Test.
perform
Test
yes,
automation.
test
Okay.
automation lead. So I've worked
Okay.
in with various companies, not here but in US. And
Okay.
I moved to India, and that's when I had to take a break at that time to ensure that my family settled down properly, and now I want to go back. So I've got a 8 year gap. In the 8 year gap, I was teaching students, Java and Python. I don't want to
Okay.
present that on my CV because, as you have said, that that's not what I want to highlight. I want to highlight the things that I've done in the past, like performance testing, API testing. Now, how do I, the moment I say that I did it in 2015, and the
Mm-hmm.
technology at that time that was being used in US was pretty good. Over
Mm-hmm.
here, that's coming right now, or has come, 2, 3 years back. But the moment I say that, the recruiters don't even shortlist my CV saying that it's a 8 year gap. How do I overcome that? I wanted to move to a technical person. Once the interview
I know.
happens
I
with the
know.
technical
See,
person,
mhm. I
that's when,
understand. I
yeah,
understand. See, this is not going to be that easy because
okay.
see, what I showed you guys was the fact that companies have opened up to hiring women on a career break, but jobs which are still not open for women on a career break, getting in those jobs is still difficult because companies are expecting some kind of maybe high energy individuals or young guys who can put in extra hours. See, nobody will tell you, for example, even if let's
Mm,
say I'm hiring male candidates, I'm not going to advertise this, neither am I going to tell my HR or someone that I only want unmarried males who are living in
mhm.
Noida, for example, or who are living in Gurgaon. I don't, we need unmarried males who are traveling from Delhi. But if I cannot advertise this, but this will be a criteria for me, when I'm hiring. My point is that if you're trying to venture into those jobs where companies are looking for young people, or the qualifications demand as such, or the experience demand as such, you will not be able to go in there. So number one, so that is why this Excel is very important. Okay, you need to really fill this up in terms of what kind of experience you are finding everywhere, what skill set, what keywords, what technologies you are looking at, and first of all you need to get those skill sets. Okay, so that at
I
least
have done that too. I have
yeah,
upgraded my, so the latest tools in testing is Selenium, TestNG. These are new tools.
so then you
And
need to start doing some
PyTest.
projects. I'll tell you what, immediately finding something like this will be difficult. Start looking for internships in probably startups, where startups are more open to hiring you than the bigger organizations are. Trust me. They would hire you at a lower pay. They'll give you probably a 6-month internship. Do that, complete that, and then add it to your resume, and then apply again and see how, like it's always a progressive thing. You cannot like you cannot reach the destination immediately. So you will have to try as these kind of approaches. You might have to maybe find somebody for life projects, who could maybe help you.
Yeah,
There
okay.
are testing companies.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
now
please.
where do I find these internship
I
positions?
see internships are available on your normal job portals, on Internshala kind of websites
But
also.
there they ask for, kids who have just graduated out
No,
of,
no, no,
or
no,
are in
no,
final
no,
year
no,
or
no,
third year.
no, no, nothing like that.
No.
There is a clear option there. If like for employers, they can select that if they want females on a career break also. So on internship websites also, this option is available. It is also available on LinkedIn. So as an employer, I'm telling you, because when we hire, we always select that
Uh,
option. So yeah, be a little patient. You will find opportunities. If there are gaps in the resume, try to fill them up. Maybe the resume is not attractive enough. Maybe the resume is not able to hit the spot. That
is
could
it
also be an
possible
issue.
for me to share my CV with you
Not
and
right
probably we
now.
can, no,
Mhm.
not right now,
Not right
later
now.
on after this
We'll be
session.
doing that probably. Yeah. So just get in touch with the Herky team. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool.
Which can, help me
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
my CV in a better position. Hmm.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Anybody else, guys? Great. So we'll move on to resume writing. Uh, exactly what we came here for. So this is how a resume should be structured. Okay, so forget the formatting and everything. There are plenty of ways to format a resume, but focus on the flow of content. Okay, so the first thing that should be there in every resume is your name. Okay, followed by a title. So the title is a quick one liner, 5-6 words of phrase about who you are. So you are, let's say, a software tester, software testing professional, or Google certified PPC consultant, PPC AdWord consultant, or it could be anything. It could be a certified SAP sourcing and procurement functional consultant. So any one any phrase that can quickly introduce. So you can add your ex company names also, the ex Accenture, ex Microsoft, anything that grabs the attention, right? Then this is followed by your contact details, name, phone, sorry, your mobile number, your email address, your location, and your LinkedIn profile URL. Okay, if you're a techie, you want to highlight your GitHub profile, you can highlight that as well. This is followed by a summary. Now, the summary talks about who you are, what skill sets you have, and how long you've been working. So, just a quick gist about who you are and a one liner about your uh, what do you say, this career break, right? So just a one liner about, I'm going to show you examples. This is followed by a core competency section, which is essentially a skills cloud, okay? Skills keyword section where all the skills are mentioned. So why do we have this? This is generally done to attract all kinds of bots which are scanning resumes for essential keywords, right? After this, just give me a second, guys. Yeah. So after this comes your employment history. Employment history talks about your jobs. So starting from the most recent job to the oldest one. So the most recent job comes at the top, the oldest job comes at the bottom. The most recent job, in your case, in a lot of cases, would be a career break only, right? Because you guys have been on a career break of late. But I mean, it could be anything. Then what about your career break? So career break is a break in your career, right? So career break becomes a part of your employment history. Now, why do we mention a career break in the employment history? Why not hide it? So first of all, because it leaves a gap, okay, and the gap doesn't look. When you leave a gap in the resume, it immediately becomes like a reason for rejection of the resume. So you cannot question an employer if they are rejecting it only on the basis of the gap. And like I said, in most cases, the gap, or rather the rejection, is going to happen through a bot. So the bot will not even give you a reason for rejection, right? You're just going to get rejected. So no point in getting this kind of a rejection. And remember, see, when you just write a gap, when you just show a gap in the resume, the employer has no reason to believe that your gap was because of a career break and not because you were in jail for poisoning someone, right? So like I said, every employer will take as many shots as available, when they want to reject you. So any assumption is uh, not out of bounds. So don't give them that reason for rejecting you. The next reason is, when bots are scanning these resumes, they always scan the dates, and these dates essentially help them understand how much resume experience is there, or if there is a gap or not. So if you again leave it blank, then the date doesn't get scanned, and if the date doesn't get scanned, then again the resume goes to the bottom of the pile. So we don't want that also to happen, right? So we always mention career break here. This is followed by the education or certifications. Okay, certifications if they are old. If this is a new certification, we bring it to the top. Now here I'm going to show you those resume examples that I talked about, and then we'll come back to this. So by the way, this is an ebook which all of you would be getting. This ebook talks about all the stuff that I've discussed with you, and all the resume writing tips as well as sample resumes. So you guys can you know revisit this later on. Sorry. So this is the first resume that I want to show you. This is Prema LP, software testing professional. Contact details are on the right, mobile, email, and location. Okay. This is followed by a summary. Summary talks about what kind of a software tester she is and what all skills she has, where all she's traveled, the client names, and then of course one liner about her career break. This followed by core competency section, which basically is a collection of all the keywords which are related to software testing. Software test cycle management, test strategy, stakeholder management, defect tracking, etc. etc. Okay, now profile synopsis. What is a profile synopsis? It is just an extension of the core competencies. uh, you know just that so a lot of people, like we used to write this earlier to increase the keyword density in the resume, quite frankly. Okay, so it is essentially a core competency section only, but written in the form of sentences. Okay, so the same skill set, software testing, will appear here 3 4 times. Software test lifecycle management will appear here. So that way the density of the keyword gets increased and the resume has more chances to uh, you know get selected. But I'm not sure if this works today. Either ways, it makes the resume very thick, so we don't follow this process now. Okay, then there's a technical purview section which talks about all the technology skills that she knows, because this is a technical resume. Then comes the experience section, where the first job is the career break. Okay, and there is nothing else written here. So this is good enough, no problem. And after that, the job is senior test engineer, right? So after this, all the jobs follow the same pattern if you just look at it. So designation, department, company, location, tenure. Designation, department, company, location, tenure. Designation, department, company, location, tenure, right? So same thing, so just follow this consistently. Also, the bullet points talk about all the KRAs that you have. Spearheaded the complete software testing life cycle, assisted with the configuration management. And also notice that all the keywords or all the bullet points start with an action verb. So action verb is spearheaded, assisted, established, planned, reviewed, provided, right? Then come the projects. Projects are written together, and the details of the projects are attached as a separate document called the annexure document, which is something which we have attached separately. Okay, so the idea is to keep the resume to 2 pages, not go beyond 2 pages under any circumstance. Okay. Then comes the education, all the education details along with years, certifications. And then this person has also mentioned the personal details, which we don't generally encourage. Reason being, personal details, your resume is not a private document, it is a public document. Your resume, the moment you upload it to a job portal, anybody can download it by paying a few rupees. So essentially, your resume can go to any lens, right? It can go anywhere. It can be with anybody. So if you are planning on writing your passport details, your husband's name, your marital status, your religion, everything in your resume, then you are essentially divulging a lot of private information. So try to avoid that. Okay. We'll move on to the next resume. Rekha BS, HR operations customer relationship. Okay. Same pattern of the resume. Career snapshot, HR, skill set, functional expertise, and then the work experience. Manager showroom, classic floorings. Okay. And then the next job, HR coordinator, then manager business development, then business manager. There's no career break. So where is the career break? Career break is here. So this is the career break. So what she's done here is she's essentially hidden her career break behind a fake job. So this is her family business. She got the paperwork done and she showed basically that she was still working here. So there is no career break in her resume. Okay, now this is unethical, but can be done. If you can get the paperwork ready, background checks ready, then this is something which you can also do. So here a good thing is that because she's trying to get into HR and operations, she's highlighted her operations and HR functions here. Yeah, Hemavanti, I'll show you. Next is Sunetra. This is HR, pure HR profile from bottom to top. And same resume. The only difference is the maternity break. So she's clubbed it with her freelancing work. So essentially, when she completed her, when she left her job as a manager HR, she started freelancing and in HR itself. And because of that, she has clubbed her maternity with her HR freelancing work. So this is also another way of highlighting your career break. Now, next two resumes are tricky, and if you could pay attention, it'll be really good. So this is a resume, worth looking at. Actually, a lot of planning here. So this is the resume for Sanjana, and Sanjana started in 1993 as a coordinator in admin roles, and she continued to work for 10 years. In 2002, she took a break, 2003, and she started traveling with her husband. And then for 10 years, she traveled. Okay, so in 2013, she decided that she wanted to go for an MBA. She wanted to pursue something in HR. So she enrolled in an MBA program in some open learning, and this is that MBA. Okay, in 2014, she completed her MBA, but she did not land an opportunity. In fact, she did not find options, but she did land an internship with GE Healthcare during her MBA. Okay. So this is, remember, this is 20 years after she started working that she completed her MBA. Now, what did she do? She started doing some freelancing work here. Okay. So as a content writer and as a volunteer for an NGO and for jobs for her as well. So she started to volunteer and she continued continued her voluntary work. Okay. So this is when in 2017 that she decided that she wanted to again, start pursuing jobs. So she started another upskilling program, EPHRM from IIM Calcutta. Okay. This is written here. And this is when she got this resume also done. And oof, this is when she got this resume also. And as you can see, the rest of the resume is HR related. The career snapshot talks about all the career journey that she's had, and everything else is focused on HR. So yeah, this is a good resume. So basically, what you actually get from this resume is the fact that you need to be a little patient. You need to plan a little, because if you do not, then I mean, you will not probably find the kind of options that you're looking for immediately. In a lot of cases, like I said, some of us will take more time than others to land opportunities. So it is absolutely okay to wait some time, to wait a little extra, and I think good things will do come, right? So this was for the planning, and this is a completely different case, Shravani. Here, what has happened is that the person, started in HR, took a break, went to the US, came back, and wanted to shift career into a different domain as a business analyst. Okay, so a lot of stuff, and there are multiple career breaks also here. So what did we do here? So this is the story basically. So she's completed her MBA in HR and started working as an HR executive. Then she worked as an IT recruiter. Then she took a career break, then went to the US, worked there, then took another career break, then came back and started working with Volvo Group in Bangalore. And now she break into a BA role, completely different from an HR capacity. Right. So what we did was we created two sections in the resume. One, a relevant experience, and the second, the other professional experience. So in the other professional experience, we put all our HR related stuff together and the career break. And in the relevant experience section, we put in her BA role. So she had done 1 15-month assignment as a BA with Microsoft, but that was in the middle of her career. So this was not the recent job that she was doing. So there was a glitch here because we did not know how to fix this gap, and because this was not the recent job, so there was a chance she might not have gotten opportunities. So what she did was she signed up with a startup as a BA, volunteer position. Voluntary position means that she was not on the role, but only for specific projects they would call her. And the agreement was that no, they would give her a certificate in return, an experience certificate. So this was the arrangement. So this gave us an opportunity to highlight this role as the most recent job, and as such, there is a validation that she's already working in a BA capacity. So the rest of the resume obviously talks about her BA role and her skill set as a business analyst, right? So these resumes are what I wanted to show you, and they essentially tell you that everything is possible. You just need to have a plan, and if I mean, you can always find a way of molding your experience in the resume in some way, right? Another thing which I want to talk about is quantification of bullets. So quantification of bullet means adding metrics to the work that you were doing. Okay, so anything that you were doing can be better presented, made more impactful if you add a number to it. For example, developed an online marketing platform to improve search traffic and increase client acquisition numbers. Versus developed an online marketing platform to produce the top 3 results on targeted keywords, yielding 48% search traffic and $17,000 of increased sales. Same stuff, but with numbers. So essentially, you've now shown that you knew the impact that your work was getting. Okay, so try to add some metrics to your resume and it will have a lot of impact. uh, Soft skills should not be mentioned, in my opinion. Soft skills don't carry any weight. Soft skills are essentially you talking about yourself to others. Essentially, you saying that I am compassionate doesn't make you compassionate, right? You saying that you have a lot of attention to detail does not make you attentive. So soft skills don't carry weight. Hard skills do carry weight, even if you just mention the name, but soft skills don't. Sorry. So try to avoid soft skills, or even if you have to, they should be complemented, to hard skills, not the other way around. Now, all of the stuff that you've learned, that it needs to be put into a good, attractive format as well. Here, I would want to introduce you to quickly to how Resumod can help. This essentially is what Resumod is about. Okay. So Resumod offers you these resume templates. Okay, this is our playground. where you can actually, play around with the colors and all, and just see how these resumes look like. And these are all, ATS friendly formats. So all these formats are available. They make your resume look a little, yeah, a little more lively. But then we have plain formats as well. You can actually just see the plain formats here. These are all very simple looking. Then there are some professional formats, new age creative formats, you know, and then obviously a little more modern. So all of these are in vogue. People are using all kinds of formats these days. Uh, we have a page called sample resumes. Now this page is what I want to show you. And somebody wanted to see developer resumes, right? So this is where so here, what we've done is we've created more than 600 resumes actually. I don't even know how many now, but yeah, a lot of resumes are here, and they're bifurcated or categorized by all these functional areas and designations, or in fact functional areas and degrees. So BA, BBA, B.Ed, and then banking, beauty, biology, food and beverage, journalism, doctors, marketing, finance, everything. So you just name it and we have the category for it. And in that category, you'll find the resumes also. So if let's say I click on finance, so I can just sort them by popular or latest, and let's say I can actually open any resume here. So like this is investment analyst. Because on the left, you'll see the image of the resume, and at the bottom, you'll find all the entire content of that resume. So if you want to see this sample and take cues from it, and you want to, utilize this, you can actually do that, right? So this is how our samples page is, and you can actually search for any resume here. So let's say, I'm a project manager, Oracle EBS, technical project manager, agile project manager. Just select, and the sample would open. Right? So this is one part. The second part was that we also have a category here called career break. So career break is this. And when you click on career break, you see all these samples which are, under career break. Here I want to show you this fantastic resume. This is an actual client resume. We've changed the name and all. Somebody made this on resume. And basically, if you see this resume, so in 2000, so this person was working as a SAP BI consultant, and she took a break, and after her maternity got over and all, got over in the sense like after a couple of years, she started doing, her upskilling. Okay. So if you notice the entire resume, the focus has shifted from her break to SAP. Okay. So if you notice it, she did this a graduate certificate course in SAP online. Then she did these courses. Then she also worked on these modules. She also did some course. Yeah, I think this is the same course as this. So essentially, if you look at this resume, Sonali Gupta, SAP, SCM consultant, profile talks about SAP, education has SAP, core competencies has SAP courses. Then in career break section, she's created this section specially to talk about her career break, but she's not talked about her maternity, okay, until at the last. She's only spoken about her SAP part in the beginning. Okay, so the SAP module only SAP courses. And then 2 lines about her maternity. And then again, the employment history talks about SAP. So my point is that, here the focus is not going on her career break at all, because the person has done a lot of upskilling here. And for the employer, that was a win-win. She got a job very fast. So point is that, like I said, if you can show that you can do the job, then employers would be very happy to hire you. So a lot of samples here, you can go through this. Then we have a blog. This blog again is huge. Like this is, I don't know if there are better career blogs around. This blog has a lot of articles, about around a lot of areas. You can even search here. So you want to, like, I don't know, just search for, so I don't know, this is a generic blog, but other than this, 50 communication skills for a resume. So which communication skills should you add? Okay, then 50 computer skills in your resume. So if you want to know what computer skills should I add in my resume, then this blog has everything. Then I talked about quantification, how to quantify a resume bullet points. So this has, all the quantification examples, and then of course it has resume examples also where this quantification is used. Right, then we have these ebooks, freshers, career break, and product managers. Lot of stuff. Again, I'll just share this link with all of you. Third thing, obviously, I want to show you how resume mod works. So unfortunately, so we have three options. You can actually create a resume from scratch. You can upload your existing resume, or you can just input your LinkedIn URL and it'll fetch all the details from the LinkedIn URL. Okay. So the problem is that my team has not renewed our account. So this is our own account, but it is waiting to be renewed. So I cannot show you the parsing in action, but it's a very easy to use feature. Just upload, drag and drop your resume and it will get parsed, and immediately the uh, builder would get filled with the content that is in your present resume. So it is just a 1 second thing. Okay. So once that happens, the entire content is pulled here on the left side, and on the right side you can see the content or see the preview. Right, this is how the resume appears. So all this section on the left side, all this content can be written and customized by you. You can also rewrite it using AI. So let's say this has been pulled from the resume that you entered. You can just click on rewrite with AI and it will just rewrite this entire content. Okay, and on the right you can see the preview. So see what this has done and how it has done it. So the entire thing, it has as a talent acquisition trainee, the entire thing, see how nicely this has actually, okay, even I did not know it would do it this nicely. Wow. It was all in paragraphs and the entire thing has now been written as bullet points. Right. uh, Now you can also, if you do not know what to write, you can also take assistance from our AI assistant. So what it does is it takes your title from the job title, takes your title here, and it suggests you all the bullet points related to this title only. Okay, you can also use Chat GPT. You can just enter your query here, like talent acquisition uh, specialist 10 years, something like that. So it'll just take this and it'll generate a query which will have everything. I'll just show you. There's a summary generated skills, about 20-30 skills, and then 20-30 bullet points. So you can just use any of these bullet points and add them to your resume, or you can even add the skills. Just let's say I just add this. Gets added here, and when I go back to the preview, I can see this skill here, interviewing techniques. Right? I can also use the AI for interview questions and answers that match my profile. For job match, which is going to come soon, here you can just get a resume score for a particular job, and you can also download the Word file of this. So a lot of stuff. Once your resume is done, you can change the templates, at the click of a button. So let's say this template, right? and you can also change the colors that suit your personality. So we've not given too much of colors, but yeah, just one color and one gray. So that ways, you can just yes, that's it. Your resume is ready. So you guys can try and use resume if this makes sense. You can also make a personal website here. At the click of a button, the resume, some resume content will be pulled, and it'll ask you to enter a few links and all, and this kind of a website would be ready. So you can share this link with anybody, and they can download your resume. They can view your LinkedIn URL as well. So yeah, that's basically about resume that I wanted to show you. I'll move back to the presentation. So do's and don'ts. Do's I've already covered actually. So don'ts I'll just cover. So photograph is a question that people have. So it is not necessary to paste a photograph in the resume, unless you're applying for a job which requires you to be presentable in front of clients. So let's say a front desk job or a hospitality sector job or something, let's say a cabin crew job. That kind of a job is where a photograph generally helps. Otherwise, you should need not have a photo. Don't go beyond 2 pages. Don't mention personal details. Name your file properly. Okay, you cannot just name your file resume. That gets rejected. Like I said, people just need a reason for rejection. Okay. Then don't write long paragraphs. And hobbies are tricky because hobbies can attract a lot of unwanted questions. Okay, so be very careful if you're mentioning about hobbies. We've seen like rare cases, but every 1 out of 20 case, the resume would focus, like the hobby might come in the discussion, and then a few questions would come in, and the interviewer would realize that the person is lying about the hobby, or maybe they are just not informed. So in either case, the employer gets the impression that this person is not a genuine person. So be careful about hobbies. Okay, that's about resumes. I'll move on to cover letters. So what is a cover letter? See, cover letter is a handshake document. Okay, cover letter essentially is a document which is introduced, sorry, which is used to introduce you to somebody before they have a look at your resume. Okay, so your cover letter is the body of the email or the message body in which your resume is attached. Okay, guys. So don't just randomly attach a cover letter and a resume together in the email. Your cover letter is supposed to be the body of the email. Okay, so have a short cover note ready for all the profiles that you make. Cover note essentially should have information like, who you are, why you are sending this resume to this person, and why they should open it. What do you have in common with the job description? So a one liner about who you are, a one liner about why you've sent this resume and why you should be considered for the job, and a one liner closing statement that I look forward to hearing from you. That's it. That is how your cover letter should be. This is the longest cover letter for email purposes. However, I would suggest even for emails, your cover letter should be short. Then comes the LinkedIn profile. Okay. Now, LinkedIn profile, essentially everybody should have a LinkedIn profile because, see, without a LinkedIn, like it gets all the more difficult to find a job, and LinkedIn is very popular. So be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn profiles are essentially similar to your resumes because the content is almost the same, and the only difference is that in LinkedIn you do not add bullet points, you add paragraphs. Okay, so make sure that you take care of this, and whatever content you have in the resume, as far as LinkedIn profile, I mean, as far as your job descriptions are concerned, try to frame it in the form of a paragraph or a story. You can use personal pronouns also in LinkedIn, and then create the profile. Other than that, on LinkedIn, make sure your photograph is there, and you add your career break details also, and you have extra space for headline and summary, so that can be utilized, right? So that is about LinkedIn. Yeah, so that's basically about it. So like I said, final word is that you should be first of all very sure about yourself. Do you really want a job, right? You really want to join? No. So that is the most important question that you have to answer. The second thing obviously is where you want to go, how you want to frame the resume, so that Excel sheet work. And then keep upskilling yourself, because like I showed you in the sample resumes also, there are people who are doing this. So if you think that you are not doing it and still you are not getting the job, it is because somebody else is filling that position. So okay, so don't sort of take it for granted that just because you are on a career break somebody is going to hire you. You have to keep upskilling yourself, right? And utilize LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very powerful tool. And yeah, that's basically about it. And there are some new job portals also like Angel, Hirist, Hirect. You can use them. Always don't shy away from going to your target company's website and applying directly. That's also a good idea, right, guys? So that's basically everything about everything that I had to teach you about resumes. I hope this was helpful. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Can we add batches to the resume, sir?
Sorry, ma'am. I can't. Sorry. I can't hear you, ma'am.
If we do any courses, we'll get some batches too, sir. Hello,
I'm
sir.
sorry, ma'am.
I'm audible.
There is some noise at your end, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello. Anybody else has anything?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, can we add any batches in the resume, sir?
Can we have any?
Add any batches if
It's
you
not
have.
required, ma'am. It's not required because when the resume goes to the ATS, it anyway strips everything. You can add badges, like nobody's stopping you, but it is not required.
Okay. Sir, I have one more question, sir.
Mm.
I don't have any experience, technical experience. I worked as a teacher for 2 years. So, what can I mention in the title part, in headline part?
Teacher. You worked as a teacher.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can write academician or a teacher. That's okay. PGT teacher or a school teacher or whatever your teacher, like
Okay.
whichever class you teach.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, all right.
So I would like to ask one question.
Yeah.
So I have worked for 10 years. I was in as a customer relationship manager. Now I've taken a career break for my kid. Now it's like 1 year since I'm on a break. And now with the Hershakti program, I'm planning to shift my career to the technical role. So how would I design my resume in a way that
So
I
what
get?
was your earlier role?
I was into service profile.
From there you want to get into technical. What technical?
It was not technical. It was customer service
Now
role.
you want to get into technical. No,
Yeah.
what do you mean by technical?
Technical in the sense not I would be fresher as a data scientist or in AI. I'm
Data
doing the course.
scientist. Have you completed the course?
No, we are in the process.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about anything. Your resume would be basically, you'll show your most recent certificate as a data scientist. And yeah, I mean, you'll have to frame that resume a little differently, but you will be considered as a fresher only there.
But that would that come as a challenge for the companies to hire me because
It
I
would,
have experience of like 10, 12 years in other sector.
yeah, it would definitely, it would come as a problem. So you will have to start with some internships. You will have to start with, guys, a lot of problems would be solved when you make that Excel. This is the solution to a lot of your problems. You have no idea what companies are hiring. The problem is that we are shooting arrows in the blind. Once you start filling this up, the JD, the experience that the company is looking for, the qualification that the company is looking for. That is when we get to know exactly what we are fighting against. Abhi, what is happening is, we are randomly just choosing a field and starting in it with no idea of what is going to happen. See, people are doing what you are doing, ma'am. Okay, in data science after 10, 12 years of experience and then 5 years of break, all that is fine. But you need to see if there are options available outside. Okay. And secondly, you will have to maybe start low in the sense, maybe through internships or maybe through some project work, maybe assisting work, assisting somebody in a project. Those kind of things will happen. Until unless you do them, you will not have a little bit of experience also under your belt. Until that happens, nobody is going to hire.
Right, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else, guys?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how can we explain our career switching or switching the domain in general? Like we were into some other job, now most of them are doing it now, and we want to go to some other job. So during the interview, how can we explain that in generalize?
Ma'am, see, there is no general answer to this. I mean,
Okay,
if you are expecting, yeah, right, there is no generic answer. Everybody has a story. And
okay,
people, at the end of the day, they like to hear stories. So you have to
okay.
tell the person your story. Why did you choose? It's a genuine question on the interview's part. A person from
Yes,
customer success is getting into data science. Why?
yes,
Why data
yes,
science? Just because like somebody told you that there are a lot of jobs in it. Are you
yes.
really qualified for data science? So that assessment has to happen, and you need to have some kind of an answer. So
Okay,
that is your answer. That answer will vary from person to
o-
person. Your answer will not be similar to others, right? So,
okay,
right, and why you chose
yeah,
the field, you might have a very valid explanation also. Because
okay,
maybe
okay,
in customer service you were analyzing data and you found a way to crack, you found a way to maybe create some charts where you got to know some kind of intelligence. You want to expand on it. So that kind of a story, if you have, that is what you
okay,
should be talking about.
y- okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So guys, feel free to ask me if you want to ask anything else. Otherwise, we'll call it a day for now. Do try and make your resume on the basis
Hi,
of
sir.
whatever we discussed. Yeah,
Hello.
hi.
I'm Deepika. I have done my
Hi.
master's in electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I have worked in semiconductor industry for 2 years.
Okay.
And one more 1 year experience in Hyundai, AMD and
In
Hyundai. So afterwards,
AMD and sorry, AMD and Honda.
Hyundai R&D Center,
Hyundai
HUNDAI.
R&D. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Uh, so I have taken a break. First, I was liking to travel. I traveled a bit, and then I started my. I was interested in arts also. So
Mm-hmm.
studio kind of a firm. After the COVID, things didn't go well, so I was forced to shut down. And then I got married and had a maternity break and everything with 2 kids. So I had long 8 years of career break. So now I want to go back again into semiconductor industry itself. So is it right for me to mention about the startup or the firm, about the firm, or I have to not mention it?
Which firm?
Deco Studio. It's completely art. That's nothing related to
No,
my
no, no.
technical skills.
No, no, because earlier you were in the technical in the same field, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so add it as an additional experience, like somewhere at the bottom of the resume, but not in the primary section of the resume. I don't think that is going to have a good impact.
Okay. Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Guys, I've sent you guys a link. Please try to leave a feedback here if it is, not too much of trouble. So, guys, if no more questions, then I'll call it a day and we'll get in touch sometime later.
Thanks, Rajat, for your, giving us so much information on it. I will definitely want to connect with you once I update my CV.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Is there a LinkedIn profile that we could connect on with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the team will share my LinkedIn profile with you guys. You guys can connect with me.
Sure.
Just
Okay.
drop me a
Thank you.
message. Okay. All
Fine.
right. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, ladies, thank you. Thank you for attending the session. Please go through the Rajat's LinkedIn profile and have shared the review link also. Okay, have shared all the links what Rajat has shared here. Have shared in WhatsApp group. Okay, please go through that and please create your CV. Okay, bye for today. Bye bye. Bye everyone.
Bye.